What is up, YouTubers? Scrap It's back. We are going to do another video today. We're going to go do a little dumpster diving. It's kind of a little cool but muggy out today. Dodged some rain this morning, so we're going to go hit this thing and see what we can get. Last night I ran over to the Jackpot dumpster and I wasn't finding anything, so I wasn't taping. I found a couple things and not much else, and I dug a little more and I found a couple more things, and then I found a pocket of Otter boxes, but they're for some off-brand older stuff. Inspire 4G, Samsung Moment, Droid Bionic by Motorola. But I think I haven't gone through them yet. Some of them will sell probably. I'll give you a little update here, how things are going. So I need to get this thing out of the car. I've got my 2 empty tubs, so we're gonna get going. And then if you remember on my last video, I think it was my last one, I got that flower pot that had that grapevine pattern on it, and we stuck her in the front yard, put some flowers in it. Looks pretty nice. The wife liked that thing. So we're gonna get this thing out of here and get going. Also, I had some time this week where I did a little scrapyard run to get rid of some stuff, and sometime later on in the video I'll show you some local scrapyard prices if you're interested. But anyway, enough of me blabbing, let's go. So it hasn't been good so far, but we got a little something in here. These kind of caught my eye. I thought they were aluminum. These bottles, they're glass bottles, but they're painted silver and full of like sand and I don't know. There's like a fireworks in it or something. I don't know. But I thought they were like aluminum bottles. I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. But we got some wire action in here. A little bit, not a ton, but all this stuff adds up. You get into a tub and it gets going. There's little tiny scrap pieces down here. I'm not gonna worry about each little tiny piece. There's a little bundle. Come on, box, get out of the way. It's always fun trying to hold up lids and grab things at the same time. I suppose you could just flip the lid up, but that'd be too easy, right? All right. I think that's gonna about do it. Anything that's worth grabbing out of there. So we got that, and that. And when I walked up on this thing, this was in there. And I pulled this thing out of there. It's a big LED light. Summit Place, it says on it. Huh. I might have to do a little research on it and plug it in, see if it works or not. But if anything, that's about a 4 or 5 pound piece of cast aluminum. Those things aren't too hard to pull apart, so that ain't bad. Nice handful of wire. Ta-da! And there wasn't much going on in this dumpster until I moved that box off the top. That's laying on the ground. Got a couple of capacitors. My yard will take as dirty aluminum. Nice big old chunky electric motor. I think it's probably about 10 pounds, something like that. So that's about $1.30, something like that. brass things on there. I think I get my clippers and just bust that thing off of there without having to take the whole thing with. So I'll grab my clippers and we'll get that thing off of there. So I carry a pair of regular wire snips, but I also carry a pair of these heavier chopper style ones here, and they work pretty good for doing stuff like this most of the time anyway. Just like that. Just gonna start busting this plastic a little bit. These are my junky ones, so I don't have to worry about them if I start cutting a little bit into the metal. I just kind of take a file and resharpen them up a little bit, so I don't use them too often for doing actual important chopping of wire. But there's a nice little piece of dirty brass. I've tried taking these apart. Sometimes you can get that part off there and make it clean brass, but you lose so much weight here, it's worth about the same amount of money. So I'm gonna deal with this and let's get out of here. We're at the door dumpster, and that would be awesome if that is wire, and it is. Oh, that is a lot. I think it's a little more on the other side. Oh, there's a big wad down here too. I might have to, we got quite a bit of wire in here actually. Get that thing out of my way. Nice big chunk of aluminum down there too. Well, this one got interesting. I find some wire in here from time to time, but never like this. Look at that. I mostly find, what is that stuff? I mostly find, I mean, I don't even find this much usually in here. Usually it's aluminum and things like that, so I usually get little handfuls like that of, you know, just little snack-sized pieces of wire instead of this bigger, nicer stuff. That was a big old piece of drop cord too. Right there. What you think of that? That is all right there. So this is similar to Cat 5 wire. It's a this is a 2 conductor wire. So I get the same price as I get for Cat 5, but I can't put it in with my Cat 5. There is more recoverable things in Cat 5 besides copper, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe there's something in the outside coating that has something to do with it. That is a nice big old aluminum hinge right there. They might give me clean depending on what the pin is in there, with the pin that runs along the thing. But even if it's dirty, they'll still get decent money for it. That's a good 3 pounds, something like that, I suppose. I think I saw another one in there, so we'll leave that open for now. Yeah, there's the other one I saw. That might be a big piece of stainless right there. Try to take that with us. Now this feels more like stainless steel. Doesn't say on there. This feels a little more, that ain't aluminum, but I think we'll take it with anyway, probably. And then I think there's another, there's the other aluminum one. You can just feel the weight difference, where this is kind of wobbly. These other ones are much stronger feeling, they're heavier, all that kind of stuff. So you can kind of just tell the difference a little bit. A little bit more wire stuff. Another little piece. Looks like all the action, the good stuff, is down on the other end. So, you guys know I'm not really a steel guy. And it's even gotten worse. Steel has dropped from, I mean, 2 years ago I was getting something like 200 bucks for steel a ton. And you could justify, you know, doing that. It's at $60 a pound. Here's some nice plug transformers, 2 of them, nice heavy ones. It's at $60 a ton now. It's ridiculous how cheap it is. And I mean, I'm not taking stuff that's steel anymore. I can't, for $60 a ton, I mean, I can't make any money. I can fit 800 pounds in this thing. So I'm gonna run a load of steel down there for $20, $25. I mean, I probably won't even take these, because this one I probably will, because I'm sure that's stainless. But this is gonna be a mix. They're not gonna, and they don't have a dirty stainless price. So if it's not stainless, you're not getting any money for it except for shred price. And when I say shred, it means, you know, a mix of steel and other attachments like plastic or, you know, mixed steel, stuff like that. So like this thing, this doorknob, that would go as shred. This is about 5 cents, if that. I mean, it's just not even worth taking it anymore. I'd never pass this stuff up before, but that's probably stainless or brass. I just, you know, just can't do it anymore. That one's probably good enough to go dirty aluminum, as is that one. That's clean cast, so we'll take that. And so it's just not worth it, you know. A little bit more wire. Another chunk of wire. I'm gonna dump this, I'll be right back. So I hope that makes sense. I know there's guys that run steel and their yards are close to them and all that kind of stuff, and they can make money doing it. But for me, it's just not feasible. So I'm not being stupid about it. I'm just, it's not something I can make money on. So anyway, but I just kind of wanted to let you know how steel prices were doing. It's just terrible, you know, they're just bad. Little tiny pieces of aluminum I'll grab here. I mean, little things like this, I mean, I end up with some steel no matter what, you know, because you got to take a couple things apart sometimes. So if stuff will fit in my bucket nice, you know, like this kind of junk, I'll take it. I don't want to fill up a bucket on doorknobs and then I'm kind of forced to take it in. I just kind of want it to be when I can take it in, sort of a thing. So we'll grab this stuff up and let's get out of here. Well, do you remember against my last video, pulled out the communication wire and I said that dumpster was packed with BX through here? Well, this is that same place, and it looks like there's a crap load of DX wire up there. We're gonna have to get out. Yeah, quite a bit of it actually. Get some of the stuff out of my way. And it's all full. Here too. And a big old handful. Is that Cat 5? That's Cat 5. And another, or Cat 6. It'll say Cat 5 or Cat 6 on the wire, if that's what you're dealing with. Nice thing is sometimes when you start pulling on the wire, it brings up the next wad of wire for you. That one's full. That's empty, but we'll take it. That's steel, but the wire's in there. I think I can get it out of there. Looks like that hole is going dry. A bit more in there. That's about all I can reach in there. Grab my stick and get the rest of that. Let's see. Here's another piece. Wow. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. This has been a good dumpster right here. Whew. Man, I'm fat and out of shape. Oh. More. Come on. Get on the hook. There you go. A little more there, a little more here, a little more here. It's all nice #1 stuff here. Steel. Number one. Well, that's not gonna come with, which is fine. So, inside this BX wire is usually, it's 99% of the time it's either braided or solid. Like this is solid. You can see when the copper bends, it just stays. So this one happens to be a 2-wire with an another aluminum conductor. So there's either 2 with an aluminum, 3 with an aluminum, or 4. When I chop into these, when they're 2 with aluminum, it's marginal at best to take them, to strip them apart with the prices I get. As far as anything that's got 4 wires, if it's, you know, 3 solid copper, 4 solid copper, 3 solid copper with aluminum, I always pull them apart. It's better to pull them apart for my prices. Other than that, the yard buys them the way it is. And, you know, it's just quick, easy money. Like that. Anyway. See any more over here? Let's go check the other side. These they obviously have stacked up for some reason. I'm not touching that stuff. It is not mine to take when it's like that. Some people might. Not me. Let's see, that's steel probably, yeah. So that looks like about it. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna take that. There is this thing down here I saw too. Let's take a peek at it quick. And let's see if I can get this thing out too. It's I believe it's like a floorboard heater. It's not sitting on top of too much stuff. It's a floorboard heater, and this piece in here usually has a copper tube running down it, and they'll take it as, you know, you just chop it off here, chop it off at the other end, and you get aluminum copper radiator for it. So let's see if this thing's gonna want to come out or not. Yeah, there we go. So that's how that'll be, and this actually looks like aluminum here. So that'll go as, pull that apart and I'll get extruded aluminum for that thing. Yeah, that ain't bad. All right, I'm gonna get this stuff loaded up and then let's go on to the next one, huh? So I got some more stuff and I hit the button on my GoPro and I thought it beeped, and it must not have because it didn't record, but I got a pile of golf clubs, and this last time I got one of those floor blowers, and I got another one, but it's a smaller one, so I'm gonna see if that thing works. But I told you I was gonna show you some pricing here from when I went to the scrapyard earlier this week. So that's the baler, that's the steel, $60 a ton, dirty brass, comm wire, that's like the drop, or not the drop cord, but the Cat 5 wires, sheet aluminum. There's those aluminum copper radiators, like that thing I was talking about earlier, that floorboard thing. So $1 a pound for those things. There's some aluminum breakage. Somebody asked what aluminum breakage was. It's basically how my yard treats it. If it's aluminum mixed with other material, as long as the aluminum makes up over 50% of the weight of the item, and you kind of have to eyeball it, and then they trust me because I don't rip them off. But that's how you get aluminum breakage. So it's part aluminum, part whatever, And then as long as the aluminum is half the weight or more. 300 clean, that's stainless steel. Right there, extruded aluminum, plastic transformers like the AC adapters. Drop cord, extension cords, appliance cords, things like that. And then some dirty brass. That's 65. Oh, it went up 10 cents a pound. Sweet, I didn't notice that. So that, and so it was 156.06, something like that. So let's move on to the next dumpster and see what we can find. We got a little something going on in here. So I went to a dumpster, and there was a guy, I was pulling in the parking lot, and this guy pulled up next to it and got in his pickup truck, and he's looking out, puts the tailgate down, and he's looking in the dumpster, and he starts unloading stuff in there. And I drove by him, and he waves at me, and usually if somebody's illegal dumping, they're not going to sit and wave at you, right? So I got out of the car and talked to him for a minute, some speaker wire. Got out of the car and talked to him, and he owns the place, and I've been going in their dumpster. Oh, look at that. Little Xbox action, it looks like. Thought that power block looked familiar. Yeah, that's a real one too. Let's see, how am I gonna get this thing out of here without wrecking it? See if it works too. Come on. There we go. Nice. Got a little wet, but I'll let it dry out. Little Xbox 360. That's cool. So I ended up talking to the guy for a minute. Nice guy. He owns the place. And I said, oh yeah, I go in here every once in a while and get some scrap metal out of here and stuff. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And I said, oh, it lightens up your load anyway, because you don't pay as much, for dumping it and all that stuff. And he's like, no. He goes, I don't care, anytime you want to come in here. And he's unloading stuff out of the back of his truck, and he's like, oh, you want this or you want that? And he ended up taking my phone number down, and he goes, yeah, we don't get a lot, which is true, because I don't get a lot out of that one. There's the controller for it, missing the back on it. But he said, yeah, I'll give you a call, and if we get a nice pile of something, well, I'll give you a call and just kind of keep it out for you or whatever, because I don't work too far from where that place is, so that's awesome. It just goes to show you that most people don't care. The other controller for it looks like a dog chewed on it or something right there. It just goes to show you that most people don't care what you're doing, and they're happy. I mean, they're throwing it out for a reason. They don't want it, and that thing, they don't want it. So just talk to them if you see somebody outside. I mean, people don't care what you're doing. I think that's like hunting makeup. Is that what that is? Olive green and brown tan loam. Hi. They don't care what you're doing. I guess that's my point. Alright. That's about all I see. Oh. Nice big weight there. I'm gonna get that out of there. That ain't gonna pull it up here though. So anyway, that's my point. And I was filming at first. He didn't want to be on camera. So that's that. How much weight is that thing? 20 pounder. Whew. I'm gonna have to keep that. Get buffed. And I think that's the that's the battery pack for the Xbox, but it's sitting in water and I don't really want it, so I can get a different one for it if they work. So And we got some stuff in here. All full of toner cartridge. That's always fun. Huh. Do I want to mess with that? That's always the question, ain't it? Think about that for a minute. That's a nice circuit board right there. That goes a high grade board for me and for where I sell my boards. That'll be a $2.70 a pound board. We'll take that with. What is this big pig? What are we dealing with here? Oh, kind of want those motors off of there though. Those are decent motors. Might have to take that with. We'll see. Another high-grade board. A $2.70 a pound board. See if I can get this one out of there. I know everybody says get in the dumpster. I'm not getting in the dumpster. I just take my time and get that out. I get that out when I'm not being so tedious and you guys are having to watch me do it. I got a pair of grabbers too in my car. It's just a bunch of plastic. I got a pair of grabber things in my car I can move things around with when I need to. Oh, a guy looks interesting. Yeah, we'll take that with. There's a little motor on there. Tiny little circuit board on there. There's a little motor in here. That'd be pretty easy to get out. Take that with. In here. And it looks like the rest is a bunch of toner cartridges and junk like that. All right. I think, oh man, there's some brass roller things in there too. I'm gonna have to take that with. I'll come back and grab this stuff. Okay, we're getting close to giving this thing away. Let's add a couple more videos worth of stuff and then we'll give it away. I'm gonna throw in this Sheffield multi-tool. This is actually pretty nice. I found this on my other channel, my magnet fishing channel. I pulled this thing out of a lake with a magnet, but it's still in really good shape and really usable. Actually, I've used it a few times, but I've got probably 20 of these kind of things and let's throw one in there. So we'll throw in a multi-tool to go in there with that thing. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.